Hello guys, welcome back, it's Justin here and welcome to another tutorial on the RNAV approach. We're going to be doing an RNAV approach into, where are we going? I think it is Halifax. Halifax, I think it's called. So we're going to be doing a RNAV approach into runway 23 today in Halifax. I'm just going to double check the weather out there. It was going to be 05, but it looks like we're going to be doing 2-3 degrees, 11 knots out there at the moment. So we're going to be going ahead and doing that right now, and we're going to pretty much show you how we're going to set that up. So let's get Navigraph up and running right here right now. We'll just put that down on the left hand side. I'll just open it up, and there you can have a look. Alrighty, so this is the RNAV approach that we're going to be doing. We're coming down here on the left hand side here. So first off, foremost, we need to sort out what we're going to be doing. So how do we set up the RNAV approach? Well, obviously you'll come down here, FMS down here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but yeah. So we go here, we go approach, we select the runway that we're going to be doing. So runway 23 RNAV approach, right? And then we're going to be doing the Fundy 5. We are transitioning from Ebony, and we're going to be using the trans.ir. Alright, now I'm not going to execute that because we've already got it, but I'll show you what that entails. Alrighty, so we have the RNAV here, so Fundy 5 approach, so here is Ebony, and then we'll be flying along here and up the left hand side up to .ir, and then we will transition over to our RNAV and then move over to Lee Ross, and then RNAV into the airfield. So basically that's how that all works. I hope that makes sense to you. So this is basically just a GPS guided approach into runway 23. Now there's no ILS on here for this, so we'll be doing a manual landing. There is an ILS on the runway, but we won't be doing it today. We'll be doing a manual landing for this. And as you can see, we have 4,000 and 210 knots. Well, we'll probably be geared down by then because, as you can see, we've got a D10, so that is distance from the VOR. So we're going to be D10 by then. So gear down, flaps down to 15, and then we'll come probably back around and line up for landing. If you remember the video that I just did prior to this, the fix here, the 10, I believe, was right on point. But anyways, we need to set up for descent. So we're going to go ahead, select our altitude for something lower. We'll go to forecast. We'll select forecast here, and we'll grab request the winds. So we're requesting the winds right now. We're going to hit OK. Also going to grab the weather as 3003. So 30.03. And chuck that in there. Hit OK. I'm going to load. That should happen. And then we'll go flight level 180. Now you'd normally do this a little bit earlier. I just wanted to do it now so you guys aren't waiting around. So it's all going to be quite quick. So that's it. Basically how you do it. Now this TAI and on and off, this is where you want to think about your anti-ice. Do I have it on or off? You can select a flight level. So all we can do is flight level 390. We're going to sort that out. So we'll do flight level 390. Okay, so flight level 390 to flight level 120. How's that? And that'll tell us should we have it on, should we have it off, all that sort of stuff. Alrighty, the next thing we have to have a look at is our progression. What is our fuel going to be on board is 7.5, and honestly it's not much different to what we've already got there. So what we'll do is we'll come over to our gross weight, so we're not going to take off anything there. So our landing rate is going to be 30 at 134 flaps. I hope that all makes sense to you. Alright, so that's all set up there. Alrighty. The last thing that we want to do real quickly is just get ready to set up for landing. So we don't need the fuel anymore, so we're going to turn off the fuel pumps. We're going to select flight continuous. You can do these at about 10,000 feet. You don't have to do it now. We also want to set our landing altitude. So our landing altitude, as you can see here, if we have a look at the runway, you can see touchdown zone is 450. Alright, so, or the runway is 445, so what we'll do is we'll select 450 because it's the closest, and that is it. That is our touchdown zone over there. And then our decision height for our LNAV, VNAV, or whatever you want it straight in, is around about 319, 300. So we'll just use this one, 319. How about that? We'll do 319 for our decision height. So if we come over here and have a look, whoopsies. Ooh, there we go. Decision height over here. There we go. We select our decision height, so 319. We'll scroll that up on the barrow. Now we are descending quite slowly, so I'm going to hit level change so we catch up. What was it, 319, I think? Let me have a look. Yeah, 319. Okay, so our missed approach altitude, as you can see, is 3,000. So we're going to select 3,000 on the... I think we'll select 4,000 for a second. Real quickly, because 4,000 is what we need to be at for the end of our flight plan before we vector over to the airfield. So we'll select 4,000, and I'll show you where I found that just in a second. So the 4,000 was at Durit, so that's what it is before we started vectoring over here. And I believe this one will be 3,000, not below 3,000, above 3,000. So if we have a look at that, we can go over here real quick to legs, and you'll see 4,000, vectored 4,000. But if we have a look here, 3,000 above. So we'll be descending to 3,000 when we get to Lee Ross, or heading towards Lee Ross. Okay, so that's how you do that. Okay, so we do have a buffer alert. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. That was really weird. Right there. That's the second time I've had a buffer alert on this flight, so it's real weird. 107. It's the flight there today. Alrighty, so that's how you do those, okay? Now there's two other things that you can do if you're setting up for ILS, but even if you're not setting up for ILS, you can come over here and set up here. So we know that the runway elevation was 445. So we'll come over here, we'll select the runway elevation, 445, enter, and we'll select the runway in meters. Now to find that in meters, you'll need to go to, I don't know, I can't remember how to find it anywhere else other than going to the airfield. So if we just go to the airfield here and grab the taxi information. So grab the taxi information, there's runway 23, 3,200 meters. So we'll put it in here, 3,200 meters, 3200, and there we go. Now it's probably going to be VMC, so we'll select VMC, and then we'll select IMC just in case, if it is too cloudy and we can't see the runway. But if we can see the runway, we'll just leave it in VMC. So that is for the heads-up display. So you can use the heads-up display to land, and you can also use the pink magenta lines down there. So if you have the heads-up display, that is perfectly fine. Alrighty, so apart from that, we're coming down right now, so that's alrighty. We're not descending as fast as I wanted. So what we'll do is we'll select V speeds, and we will set our V speeds just a little steeper than what they are. So we'll drop it about 220. We'll try and get that VNAV back on track. Now we are quite high, so it's not a big deal in worrying about our speed until we get down to 10,000 feet. Obviously, just don't want to overspeed the aircraft, but we can come down quite rapidly. Alright, descent path unchangeable, that's fine. That's probably because we're 3,000 off. So this little carrot here, guys, if you're having a look, if you're wondering what it is, That means we're 3,000 feet, as you can see, above the glide slope. Now, you want that carrot to pretty much be right here on the glide slope. If it's up here, obviously you're below the glide slope, but we're above, so it's not a big deal. We can use that hold function that we talked about earlier in a earlier tutorial, all that. Now we are over speeding, so what can we do? We can just whack out the speed flaps and down we go a bit more. But honestly, we're above 10,000, so it doesn't matter. So, one of the biggest lakes, inland lakes in North America, or Canada, I should say. I think that's one of the lakes. It might not be. We might be out over the actual ocean now, so we'll have a look. Yeah, we're actually out over the ocean. All these airways going out towards England. Look at that. It's insane. Thinking about getting rid of that. Can we get a low route and just see what they are? There we go. There's no massive airways anymore. We're just using that. So we're coming out here, as you can see. So we can bring the airfield, the star in. So as you can see, we're tracking perfectly alright into the star. So we'll come in and along here and then and around. So we'll be around about 210 at 5,000 here and then 4,000 down here at 210. So we just got to maintain that. So hopefully we can get back on the glide slope here in a minute and we'll sort it all out for you. Apart from that, there's not real much else to do. You can set the ILS up if you really want to, even though you're doing RNAV, kind of helps you out a little bit. But we're not going to do that today. There's plenty of tutorials out there, and I will do an ILS tutorial in the future. Probably not as a video, but more so in a stream video, like a full flight tutorial. As yeah, I do a lot of ILSs. That's just what I prefer. So once we are down, we also need to set the runway heading. Now, the runway heading that we'll be coming in on, as you can see here, is 233. So that's the 233 that we had. So we'll select 233 on course 1. You'd also select these for your ILSs. And we'll select course 2 as well. Just for the sheer sake that that's the runway where we're going on, and it kind of helps the aircraft pick stuff up when you are using the ILS and RNAV and all that sort of stuff to sort out the positioning for the runway. Alright, we're going to select our brakes. Now, the runway is like 3,200 meters, so we're going to select 2 on the auto brake, just in case we need a little bit of extra braking power. We don't need it on 3, and you definitely don't need it on max. If you're going to have it on max, you may as well use your foot pedals. Alright, so as you can see, we're coming up on the slope. Now, when you're within 500 feet, we can pretty much select VNAV, sorry, again, and the aircraft should take back over. If you're if you're like me, trying to do everything in a short amount of time, I'm pretty much just trying to show you how to do everything in a short amount of time, just because I don't want you waiting for like half an hour, which is probably going to be how long the tutorial is anyway, but half an hour of just sitting there waiting for the descent to come up, because you normally start this at around 150 nautical miles prior to descending, and then you got to just sit there and wait. That way you've just got a little bit more time. So as soon as that carrot starts moving up that little white there, we'll hit VNAV, and VNAV will pretty much take over and get us back on track. Alright, so there it is. So we can select VNAV now. Alright, so we don't accidentally go out of that area, let's get that speed right down now. So hopefully VNAV will pick us up. So we're still 600 out, that's okay. Alright, so VNAV has now picked us up and we are starting to get back onto glide slope. Alrighty, so we know what the, what was the barrow? It was 3009, I think. 3003. So select 3003. There it is. Awesome. So it's kind of stopped. So what we need to do again is just level change. Drop that nose just a bit more.
18,000 feet.
Might VS this again. Alright, we'll set standard real quick. So just bring it back on the glide slope now. I'm going to try and keep the aircraft as slow as possible so we pick up the VNAV properly this time. So I want to try and get it within 50 and then we'll just hit VNAV again. And there it is. Select that. And now we're back on and I'll take the, and we'll select arm on that. Alrighty. So you can use a whole bunch of checklists that are up here. I have my own on me. Just double check to see if we got everything. Now we needed to make sure that we're at 110 at a certain point on the map. So 5,000 at so from Movox, okay, down to 5,000 at Logpo. So we have to be at 5,000 at Logpo, but at a max of 210 knots, okay? So hopefully the aircraft should sort us out and decelerate us there. If not, we're gonna have to kind of figure something out. We'll see how it goes. Right, so with everything that I do, I am always on VATSIM, so I'll make a call now. So I think we're at Halifax. Halifax traffic. WestJet 246 is descending via the Star, Fundy 5, flight level 140 for 4,000, runway 23 full stop. Alrighty, so that is that. We are pretty much telling on. I don't think there's anyone around the airfield actually that we're coming into. Actually there is. Emma Sums, there's a tower there. So we have the traffic and the weather, so 118400, and the H.O.T.A.S is 121 decimal 0. So we'll set that and we'll go listen to it. I don't think you guys will be able to. 121 decimal 0.
Altimeter 3003. Approach ILS runway 23. Inform arrival off requested approach on initial contact. Landing and departing runway 23. Inform ATC that you have information, Quebec.
Quebec it is. Alright, so we need Quebec, and the tower is 118 decimal 400. 118 400. Alright, so we do have tower, but that's alright. Alright, so you can see that we are coming down nice and gradually. We need to be at 5,000 at 10 there. So then we'll keep descending down to 4,000, but we'll be at 210 knots. So when we get to 210 knots, I'll actually drop the flaps so we can go a little bit slower again. What we'll do is we'll also select the heading, so we are following the same heading, because we'll need to take over on the heading bug shortly for the rest of the flight. We can also select the, from the other tutorial, we can also select where we got vectors. We can vector straight to, we can bring that up to the vector. We can do that as well. Just to reiterate what I said in one of the tutorials earlier tonight. Alrighty, so lights will come on now. Landing lights can come on.
10,000 feet.
So at 10,000 feet, which is good. Halifax traffic. WestJet 246 is at 9,800 for runway 23 to the southwest of the airfield for full stop. Halifax traffic. Alright, so there is a tower there, so we'll pull the tower on final. We'll listen to the Asus one little time. I don't think you guys can actually hear the Asus. That's for streams. Unfortunately, I haven't set it up in the recordings. I will remember to do that for recordings because I'm doing a lot of flying around Canada and America at the moment with the WestJet. Alright, so as you come in close to the airfield, you can slowly bring up, you can slowly bring in the stuff. So these are the rings that we set last time, so obviously if I wanted to set it for the other direction, I'd use 053. But that's okay, they're already set up. I had to change because the weather, excuse me, the weather changed, so that's why it's set up the way it is now. But that's alright. That's no problem. Alright, so we're almost there. We're going to be at 5,000 shortly. Hopefully we're going to be just decelling. So you have the decelerate right there coming up. So it should decelerate us to 210, which is brilliant. We're already going to be slow enough at 210, so I probably won't do my flaps and stuff until we start moving around to the next point. But last, just as we're coming up to the last waypoint on the star, I want to listen to H.O.T.A.S one last time, just so I've got the last little bit of information. Just to make sure Quebec is still the same, if not, so on and so forth. I haven't seen the airport yet. The airport should be out to our 2 o'clock. There it is out there. So we'll be running on the runway that's parallel to us now. Alright, you can see the speed coming down to 210 now. Now the aircraft's holding at 5,000 because that's what we had to be at that point. Speed's coming down to 210. We're turning now. Alright, I'm going to select flaps 1. So I'm actually going to do it. I thought I wasn't, but we'll just do it anyways. Might even select flaps 5. Oh no! Oh, sorry about that freeze, guys. So select flaps 5. Let the aircraft speed get down a little bit, and then we'll select flaps 15 and gear down, just for this last little bit. Alright, selecting flaps 15. 1, 2, gear down. Look at that bad girl. Pretty alright, eh? Something weird going on there. So we're coming above, so we've got to be 4,000 above. So we're right there. And our last point will be over here at Leros. So what we'll do is we will use the direct function in a minute. Once we get past our waypoint, because our waypoint will continue us heading out there. So there's two ways of doing it. You can set the heading. So if you have a look down here, we can select our heading to 90 degrees to our point, and we'll probably get vectored over there from the tower. Or there's another way you can basically do it. So that's 145. We can just go here, select on the vector, like that, and basically to take us around. Ready. So what we'll do is we'll execute that, and it will take us around the circle. Okay. So now we want to descend down to 3,000. So we'll grab that and we'll descend down to 3,000. We'll bring out our altitude right there. We're going to select approach. We don't actually have the a V-lock, that's fine. We'll select that, and once we get there, then we'll start our descent into runway 323. So we'll select tower, make sure tower is correct. Tower is still there. Let's see if I can grab V-pilot up for you. You can see it, you can hear it. Transition that over. We've got Navigraph up, so you can see the inbound area, so you can have a look. So we're tracking our VNAV perfectly fine now. You should hear her when we talk in a minute. Her name is Emma. There's control on the tower. Alright, we'll select 25. And there's our runway. Autopilot off. VNAV off. Selecting our indicated airspeed.
Conventional aircraft information Romeo is now currently 190.13, adjusting up to 18 knots.
Alrighty, we're pretty much good. So I think we're about, well, I'd say 15 away. No, we're about 10. So Halifax Tower, WestJet 246 is 10-mile final for runway 23 visual.
WestJet 246 Halifax Tower, good afternoon. Winds 190 at 13, gusting up to 18 knots. Clear to land, runway 23.
Clear to land, runway 23. WestJet 246. Alrighty, so for this, the symbology for this here, as you can see, the -3, that is what we need to be at. That is our glide slope to the runway, okay? So we're just going to hold that there. We're going to grab the, we're going to also go flaps 30. Flaps 30 is coming down. But we're also going to keep our little aircraft on the -3 there. -3 line. Okay. Might have to descend just a little bit more. Yeah, the guy sounds like a guy. I don't know where he got Emma from. Or he doesn't want his real name out there, so he put his girlfriend's name instead. They'll come left a bit, so we're lining up with the runway a little bit more. Now there is a brightening tool for this as well, which is up there. Now this is probably, I think this is my first manual landing because I've been having a problem with degradation with the with the PMDG and the 146 with yaw controls destroying my sim after 2 hours of flight. So I haven't been able to like fully manually land or even get a 2-hour flight in. So this flight was only an hour and a half, but I did like a 3-hour flight the other day, or earlier this morning I think. So they're really good. That yaw controls was the problem. Alright, so we've got pretty much everything set. Our flaps are set, gears are done, landing lights and all that are down. Alright, we're continuing to our descent here. Now if you didn't have the heads-up display and you don't like the heads-up display, right now you'd be using 2 fingers from the top of the dash, right, with one eye, and that'll be your aiming point. Now my aiming point, trying to get that aircraft right on the touchdown zone, is right there.
400.
This is about 800 feet per minute to 600 feet per minute.
300.
600 feet per minute is where that -3 degree line is.
100. 100.
So we're 100 off.
50.
All right,
50.
that's our
40.
30.
30.
20.
time to shut down.
20.
I floated there. I'm really floating. I don't have a keybind for my
10.
little
10.
crunch. There we go. That was not a good landing because my keybind is missing for my auto throttle. Sorry about that, guys. But that's basically how you do it. I hope that was a good landing though, nonetheless. Alright, so under 60. Reverse is off. We can take this runway here. This taxiway.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. The captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that point, we will have
Flaps
closed
up.
the gate and it will be safe for you to get out.
Spoilers up.
Check around your seat for any personal belongings.
And that is it, guys. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. And hopefully we'll be doing some streams. Peace, guys. See you later.